This is episode 23 of What's Been Better. Today we're talking about the Runaway Bride. Who is she and why is she running? I happen to be engaged, so Sylvia and I are assessing to see if I'm a runaway bride. To all those with sensitive ears, we use profanity for emphasis, though, not to harm.
Yay! Welcome to the reading club.
How did that sound? That sound all right?
Do
I need to do it again.
no, you got
All
it.
right.
You got
All
it.
right, girl.
The intro club is no joke. It is not for the weak-hearted.
I tell you the truth. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
How you doing,
Well,
sensitive? You hear me? I said, how you doing, sensitive?
uh-uh.
Because I'm
Wait, that
thinking
is a
about the
good
sensitive
label.
ears.
That's a good
Hi,
label for me these
Sylvia.
days. Hi,
No.
Lori.
Well, maybe that's a Freudian slip. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna start. What's been better?
Please. Let's see. What has been better? Um, I have a lot more energy.
Okay.
I think my energy level is kind of going down a little bit, but I feel a little bit better. I got my bed.
Yay.
Yeah, it came yesterday.
Okay.
What's funny though, we had a king size bed, right? We
Uh-huh.
had a memory fern or foam bed.
Uh-huh.
So it remembered my side, it remembered his side, right? But now we have this um I don't know what kind of bed it is. It's what is that thing with the motor on the bottom and it go.
Oh, where it's like the adjustable base,
Yeah,
like the
yes, it's right.
okay.
So it's not a memory foam though. So the adjustable base adjusts to somebody's, not necessarily mine's, but the fiance's
Oh
way of sleeping.
no.
It doesn't adjust to my way of sleeping.
There's not two remotes?
No.
Oh my heavens.
Yeah. So,
Oh my God. And I was like telling you, this is the best idea. This is the best idea because I thought it was like ours.
right. Well,
We
maybe
each
because
had a remote.
so it adjusts to how you sleep and then on his,
Yes,
okay, do you have um a king size?
we do. Yes.
Right.
When
Okay.
we
So,
had that bed, though, the adjustable bed, we did not. We had a queen.
oh, Lord have
And
mercy.
I will
So,
never go back to a queen ever again in my life.
mm-mm.
No, I
So
don't care.
we have a queen right now. And I was knocking shit over in the middle of the night because I'm used to a king size bed. And I'm about to knock him in the face the whole night. Like it was,
Lori.
and not only that, it adjusted to his way. So he was a little lamb.
Oh my God.
No snoring though, no snoring. But I was like, if I could just take this motherfucker and throw it out the window, the bed, I mean, not him. Oh,
So
and
now what are you gonna do? You have to
well, I
start
called him back.
over.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I told him, listen. He said, well, I just want to be close to you. I want to be close to you, brother, too. But I don't want to slap you in the face every 10 minutes.
Right. No. Especially like so we discovered I sleep crooked. I technically sleep like if anything goes wrong, my head will fall out of the bed first. I sleep with
Me
my
too.
feet like towards the middle.
Yeah, me too.
So not in a queen size. No,
Mm-mm,
ma'am.
mm-mm.
Everybody's getting kicked.
I, listen, it's not going to work.
No, no.
And I need my own way because I
Yeah,
need to be comfortable. I
right.
won't sleep.
But we had a queen when we had the two remotes, but also it's not a sleep number bed, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That's okay. So that's the difference. Like we had an actual sleep number bed and it was very like custom,
Mm, okay.
custom. Cause it was like, get
Well,
your remote and do whatever you feel like on that side. Cause I'm sleeping on a brick over here.
Well, I tell you what, that damn queen felt like like a supersized single, and I just was, I would love him, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we don't have to be that close, not
No,
that close.
no.
No, we ain't trying to
Mm-mm.
make no babies.
Oh God. Oh no,
Oh,
no.
anyway, yeah.
Whew.
So let's get down into this thing about runaways.
You
Run.
gonna skip over asking me what's been better?
Oh, you know what? I was because I was focused, honey, and I apologize. Let me just bring it all the way back.
We're fine. We're fine. Look, y'all,
Sylvia, my apologies, my dear. Ooh, I'm so excited about talking about this. I
I
guess
can
because,
tell.
yeah.
I can tell.
So, but what's been better though? Seriously.
Well, today is anniversary B.
Yay.
Yay. So it's just been a good day. I don't know. It's it's a day when my person works from home, so that's always a
Mm-hmm.
better day.
That's nice.
Yeah. We actually like being in our office together,
Isn't that
it's
sweet?
not that big of a deal. I was
It
laughing.
is
I was
a
like,
big deal.
it is. I mean, because people said like I learned how my person was during the pandemic and how they are at work and how they talk to people and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It's I guess because I already know him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I know he's not dilly dallying in his meetings. He's like, y'all got questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this meeting's over. Like he doesn't like
Right.
meetings. I don't like
Right.
meetings. He's just direct,
Mm-hmm.
so none of it bothers me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just a good day.
That's
Another
nice.
another day, another anniversary. So
Well, I don't know. I don't know that any anniversary is just another one, right? I think they're all very, very special. You guys are special.
yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what's special about this anniversary? What year is it?
This is year 10.
Okay, so this is the paper anniversary.
Yes, this is year
Okay.
10. This is the paper
Mm-hmm.
anniversary. No paper floating around. Not that I don't know. We used to leave each other notes all the time. We don't do that anymore. Hmm.
Okay. Would you like to? This might
Maybe
be the
I'll do that.
reminder
I was
year.
about to say that. Maybe I'll like sneak a note over there onto his side of the desk.
Oh,
But
yes.
but yeah, just I like things that are it's normal. It's not anything crazy. It's not anything like I don't like surprises, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So it just being a normal day, a normal Thursday, I'm grateful for that.
That's
Like
nice.
I like harmony. I like
Mm-hmm.
peace. I like things
Very.
to be normal. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So that's special then.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it is in a way.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
happy second anniversary or the reminder anniversary of the first anniversary.
Right. Anniversary B.
I
Anniversary
like
B.
it. That's
Yep.
nice.
I was looking
Happy
at
anniversary, B.
pictures of my wedding dress because I saw a thing on Instagram of like show the day that you found the dress and then show
Mm-hmm.
the day that you actually had the dress on. I
Oh,
made that
okay.
and I was looking at my face and I was like, ooh, I was so unhappy.
Oh.
But then I look at the pictures of like the
Mm-hmm.
day and I'm like, that was a good day.
Okay.
At the
Of
end
the
of the
day
day, it was good.
overall or the
Mm-hmm.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's cool. So did the face change then?
No, because remember last week I was telling you like I could see in my face like I felt alone and stuff like that. But I'm just saying like I was happy in terms of the dress.
Oh, I see.
It was the
Okay,
dress I
so there.
wanted. It was
Okay,
a long, arduous process with the
I
dress.
see. Okay,
So
so there was this silver lining there, is what I'm
yeah,
saying. Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
That's good. I'm glad you found that silver
yes,
lining that is as you look back on that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that's
So
something to keep in mind in a
it
way.
is.
Yeah.
It is. So speaking of brides, weddings,
Mm-hmm.
dresses,
Yeah, all of those things.
you have repeated more than once
Mm-hmm.
and labeled yourself as a runaway bride more than once.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Yeah,
have
I
to get
have.
into this.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
We got to dig into why you are labeling yourself this way or why you have labeled yourself this way. I know you said you've been engaged twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Well, I was married once, so I'll start there. And the
okay,
reason why I can even say I was engaged twice or even the runaway bride, it starts back at the marriage, right? So
okay.
um coming from a Christian background, the ideal was to get married once.
Mm-hmm.
And so no matter what, and there's so many things I've learned now that I didn't know when I was married. Um, so when you get married and you don't know everything that I would say is best to know before you do get married.
Ooh,
Right. And
yes.
out and I'm using my words very carefully. So if you're not your best, but you don't know that, and then
Mm-hmm.
you don't marry your best, and you have these Christian principles that lock you into a marriage. When you stay married longer than it was necessary,
Yeah.
trauma starts to take place, right?
Right.
So, so I ended up getting the divorce, and it was traumatic. So
Okay.
to be in a relationship again, especially in that marriage, when I said to myself, I'm not going to get married again. It's almost like having a child and you remember childbirth and you're like, yeah, that shit hurt. You're not going to do it again. But then when you remember the good part of being pregnant and the good part of having a child, you definitely want to have another child, right? And
Right.
so the pains don't make a big of a deal. So so the runaway bride came in because I was engaged twice, and those two engagements, the first one, no,
What does
because
mean?
so I'm glad you asked that question because who would know what that means other than me, right? So
Yeah.
that is this person is not the person to marry, and you're pushing yourself to kind of do it because you don't bought the dress, right? For so
Oh
these people
wow.
who buy the dress, find the location, spend the money, you
Mm-hmm.
say to yourself, well, it's not going to be that bad, right?
Yes. The I'll get happy later.
Right. But certain things that are in your face, like the red flags that, the proverbial red flag, if you honor it, then, oh man, you got to break up this wedding. You got to stop the wedding. You got to probably need to break up
Right.
because, so really it's like, I don't want to do any of those things. I want to go ahead and do it because I don't want to face the shame or whatever that is of not, going along with this marriage. Right. So, so thus, that's the whole thing about me feeling like being a runaway bride because it's, presenting itself all over again. Because those first two times, I really recognized, okay, this marriage, if you marry this person, it might be a lot like that first marriage that was traumatic for you. You don't want to be
Okay.
traumatized again, right? So don't do it. So how I felt, and ask, jump in here anytime because
Okay, I
I will
got
just
questions.
ramble on.
No, no,
Okay,
no, because
good.
I seriously have questions. Okay,
Okay,
so
well, I'm gonna let you
my
get in there.
first question is how far in did you get both times? Like, were you like at the altar and you said no? Were you like weeks out? Were you
Right.
right after you said yes, you put the ring on, then where you're like, oh hell no. What am I thinking?
What's so funny is I never had a ring either time.
Really?
Yeah, so that's
I
probably a
like
story
your
for
style. Well, no, because okay, I'm very, very different.
mm-hmm,
Um, I want the person, not all the stuff.
mm-hmm,
I mean, we had this conversation about like the stamps over stuff. So
mm-hmm,
it's kind of the same scenario in terms of like, because honestly, like, what do you get the ring for? You get the ring to tell other people that you're like not on the market anymore. You're not getting
mm-hmm,
the ring for like yourself.
mm-hmm,
Because I always find it interesting the people who, the women who like know they want a emerald cut set in this on this
mm-hmm,
type of gold and whatever
mm-hmm,
and they already have it like picked out and cut out of the magazine and just like give it to the guy and the guy goes and spends like 3 months salary on the
mm-hmm,
ring, not the wedding,
mm-hmm.
not the new house, not the 3 months worth of
Right.
vacation that they could have, like none of that stuff. They buy the ring for that price is like baffling to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the no ring thing.
Right.
I think that's smart.
I think so too, I think. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm saying I think too because that's all a part of it. Because
Okay.
it's about the bride trying to find out who she is.
Yes.
And is who she is who she's about to marry, or
Mm-hmm.
is who she's not who she's about to marry, or does she know who the fuck she is, and should she not get married because she don't know who the fuck she is? It's a lot of these things,
It
right?
is. It is. Yeah.
And when I say does she know who she is, like when you mention about the ring, that could be all pomp and circumstance. That could be just nothing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And are you getting this ring because you really want a ring, or is that because you've been told to have a ring?
Exact. Oh my
And that's supposed to
God.
be a thing. And then if this person can't afford this, then you're thinking, okay, can he afford you? Right?
Yeah.
Instead of realizing that does that even matter? You
Right.
know?
And like what is your priority if you're willing to push for someone to spend 3 months worth of salary? Because when I read that, I was just like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard of. That's like the average thing that people do is spend 3 months salary on the engagement ring.
Right,
The hell
right,
are we talking? Like, whose idea was that?
right.
And
I
whose
love
idea
it.
was
Thank
like
you.
it had to be a diamond?
Right, because the ring I got this particular time, because
Mm-hmm.
this is my first ring ever, um, it's not a diamond because
Good.
right. Well, it's not a diamond because I know that diamonds, one, are not the value that I, set for myself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't really want to go down the road everybody's going down because I've never been
Right.
cut from that cloth.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know too there are other um uh, rocks or what is it, stones,
Gems,
that gems
stones. Mm-hmm.
that are more valuable. But
Mm-hmm.
then again, who sets the value, right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's really me further breaking down who I am. And
Mm-hmm.
what I finally discovered is, yes, I am a runaway bride. I
Okay.
really kind of assessed myself because I realized because the definition of a runaway bride is basically someone with cold feet, or someone second guessing, or someone having doubt, or someone having anxiety around should I get married or not, based on not so much the person,
Mm-hmm.
right, that you're marrying, but really it's based on how the bride views herself.
Right.
It gets projected onto the bride, the groom, but it's really about the bride.
Yes.
What are her values? What does she stand for? And so she has to question that. And is she standing on her own morals and her own values? Is she doing that now? Is she gonna uh, waver on that?
Yeah.
And does that person line up with her values right now? We can't really project into the future because we don't know. And I think
Mm-hmm.
some of that runaway bride is projecting into the future, wondering if I'm making the right choice for the future right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even like for me, I I don't even wear my engagement ring. I actually
mhm,
have like two totally different rings than when we even got married.
right.
It, because it's just like this wasn't practical. This didn't match. This didn't
Hmm.
go with like what the aesthetic was. It was
Right.
all those things, and it was um really a choice
Hmm.
to dare to be different.
Hmm.
And yeah, I guess like you said, you have to like be okay with yourself and be okay with like what your values are, what you care about,
Hmm.
who you are.
Right.
But I think a large portion of it is also communication.
Hmm.
These are
Absolutely.
like hard conversations that you've got to have with your person
Hmm.
because you're going to be attached to that person.
Absolutely. You are right. So while these are questions in your mind, instead of them running around in your mind, and if you're a person who is prone to doubting, doubt would roam around with that thought and
Mm,
create negative scenarios.
yeah.
And so it's best to speak to that groom
Yeah.
and really talk through it, and hopefully that groom will be understanding, empathic, loving, considerate, all those things that would would benefit in kind of putting those thoughts on paper and looking at the good of it,
Mm-hmm.
what you desire. And I think it's always good to lead with what you desire instead of what you don't want. And I think a lot of the runaway bride or groom would be thinking about what could go wrong, right?
And
They think about that.
where do you think self-sabotage falls into this? Because I think that's another part of this is like you start trying to find reasons wrong or you start acting out or
Right. You start acting as if those things you doubt are actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think
so
like
they
that's a
do.
thing.
Right. So
Yeah.
that sabotage is thus the self-fulfilling prophecy that takes place when you doubt. And that's why it's really good to communicate. And hopefully you have that person who is empathic. And so what you find out is when you talk, which is what we both suggest to everybody who ever listens to this, please talk to your person who
Oh
you're
my God.
considering marrying, because if
Please.
they do not value what you're saying, if they dismiss what you're saying, even if they say, oh, you don't feel that, stop
Yes.
and let them know, first of all, you're dismissing what I'm saying,
Hmm.
and I am feeling what I'm feeling. And that is a flag if that person continues to dismiss how you feel. And that
Okay.
could be a reason why you do communicate and find out. But the hope is that they do hear you and they honor that, and you look at what you desire first.
Yes.
And if what you are fearing is actually taking place, because sometimes what you are fearing is actually taking place and you're denying it and you're hoping it won't keep happening.
And I was going to say, not only talk to your person, but listen to your person,
Mm-hmm.
hear your
Yes.
person,
Mm-hmm.
because I definitely was like guilty of not hearing.
Mm.
It was like, yeah, yeah, you said whatever, but like, just hear me out. You know,
Right.
I was on
Right.
like a mission to convince him that like I
Mm.
was good enough, that I was worthy enough, that it was fine to just marry me at this point in your life. I
Mm-hmm.
accept you for where you are right now.
Right.
Not hearing him say, I'm not where I want to be.
Right.
But I was hearing Sylvia is not good enough.
Right.
That's not listening to your person. That's
That's
just
right.
like
Right.
interpreting what you want to interpret. You're being told
Mm-hmm.
no when you're like making that into 15 other things.
Mm-hmm. And how is it that you were doing that? Let's just ask that
Oh my
question.
heavens. A lot of it I was allowing all the societal pressures, all the people in the circle who have an opinion, um, old baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember the wildest thing. It was somebody that we went to school with, um, that he never dated them, but I think there was like a connection between them.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we went to homecoming and we weren't engaged yet, and I saw her in the bathroom, like like we were at like a party or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, you look good now."
Mm.
And I was like, I have no leg to stand on because I don't feel like I'm winning because I don't have him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have proof. Like, yes, we're together. Yes, we've been together this
Mm-hmm.
whole time, but it's like I was beginning to doubt that like it would ever work or that it was going to continue to work or anything, because I still was like hearing these people say these things,
Mm-hmm.
taking it personally, and then
Mm-hmm.
adding on more shit to take it personally.
Right. Like, so you listen to the word and you imagine what that word mean based on the doubt that you had.
Yeah.
Right.
And it
And
just
that's
added to it, just fueled it.
right. And that's the whole point. It's like, I don't know if you, you said you weren't engaged though at the time.
No.
Okay. So then sometimes it's like, who do I bounce this thought process off to where I can get like something to where I can feel better about this? I can really
Yeah.
remind myself about what I want as opposed to what I'm afraid of. And
Hmm.
that adding to the what I'm afraid of, and then it actually taking place. Right.
And
Yeah.
fear will fuck you up.
Oh, absolutely.
Fear and thank you again. I have to pause here. Thank you again for telling me to read The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the man says we are born with only two fears, fear of
Mm-hmm.
falling and the
Mm-hmm.
fear of, I think, being lost or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is given to you, put onto you by friends, family,
Mm-hmm.
society,
Right.
teachers, everyone else.
Right.
It it helped me just let go of like so many other fears.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Isn't that
realized
awesome?
that like
Yeah.
a lot of it was I just feared being alone.
Mm-hmm.
I feared being
Mm-hmm.
alone and I feared looking like a fool. Like I have attached myself to this person for all this time, and this person is going to leave, leave me
Mm-hmm.
alone
Mm-hmm.
and go and jump into something with someone else that'll be totally permanent,
Mm-hmm.
work easily. It'll just be this wonderful thing.
Right. And so I'm gonna say something that might fuck some people up.
Okay. All right.
But this is what I know now more than ever. It's about detaching
Mm-hmm.
from the person
Yeah.
and attaching to the experience. And when I say the experience, it's the actual feeling of you being with someone who can help provide the peace that you desire. Because when you think about what you ultimately desire in this world, and for me, it's peace. For others, it might be joy, happiness, fulfillment. When you're in that experience with that person and that is the experience, stay there.
Mm-hmm.
If ever you're with someone and that experience is not taking place on a consistent basis, and not because you have to manipulate your way into it, you don't need to be with that person.
Right.
And so we fear not being with that person instead of, recognizing that what we desires us back.
Yes.
That is the ultimate thing. And we have to stay there. And if it's not that person, it's not. That desire of the feeling will always still be there and you can have it. Just might not be with that person. And we have to be able to be strong enough to let go, you know.
Yes. Which
Right.
is a lot when you're with a person for a decade plus, two
Right.
decades. You're
Right.
with a person from a teenager to like a really grown adult. Like,
Right.
but yeah, I think it is realizing that like we're all in this thing by ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and that we have guest stars that come in and out. They only do an
Yeah.
episode or two. They do a full season. They're
Several
they're
sometimes.
right. They're on the show the whole entire time from day one until it goes off. So I mean, it just depends on what you get. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was it was like that. So okay, coming back to you. So we didn't get to the bottom of the question.
Okay.
How long were you in these relationships before you were like, that's it, I can't do this?
Okay. So one was like 2 years.
Okay.
So the first one after I got divorced, because I'm glad we kind of came back full circle, because in that marriage I was married almost 10 years.
Okay.
On paper it was 10 years. We were physically together about 8.5 years, and it was like a year and a half of turmoil before the divorce actually happened. But I was young. And
Right.
so being young and not necessarily knowing, and I had 3 children by this person. And so we were locked in. But I
Mm-hmm.
was locked in with a person who was emotionally immature as I was emotionally immature. And so getting divorced, especially when you're thinking that you're supposed to be married for a lifetime and there were only certain requirements to get divorced, right? And so finally get the divorce, and it was maybe about 6 or 7 months before I met someone else.
Okay.
And in the young mind, it's like, oh, that person's supposed to be your spouse because, you
No,
know,
no.
right. But I'm saying, because
Right.
you want what you had before. It was an
Yes.
actual marriage. Even though it was not the best, it still was. And so you want some sense of normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I was in that relationship probably about 2.5 years before I realized that and I did buy the dress. We did secure the spot. And I was like, no. And there were certain key things. And I don't want to just dog the person out, so I won't say, but it was certain key things that I saw that I couldn't deny, that was like, you and your right mind cannot marry this person because it goes against your core values.
Okay.
And
So it was
so,
just things that like you absolutely were opposed to.
hmm and so I
Okay.
did run away. And so I will say too, for me to run away, I did do the right thing. So whatever that doubt was or that concern was, it was based on a thing that was actually taking place. And
Okay.
I didn't want to deny it. And so I was like, oh no. And so the second one was less time, it was like a year and a half. Same thing. I had the bridesmaids, I had all the bridesmaids' dresses purchased.
Oh,
The
wow.
dress was purchased. The location, like this was more imminent than the other one. And hung out with two of my bridesmaids, and we went on a little mini vacation. And God bless them, they my best friends to this day. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, I just love them so much when I think about this. They really talked. We cried. We laughed because it was the NDIRE weekend. We went to see NDIRE, and
Oh,
then we went
wow.
to the beach. It was the bomb. And as I shared with them what I was dealing with in that relationship and what they noticed in our conversations while we were away from each other, they were like, oh no, you know. And it
Okay.
was beautiful to have like-minded people. That's why it's good that if you don't have anybody like your person to talk to, and you can't be level-headed about what's going on, and they don't dismiss your feelings, or if they do or whatever, it's good to have someone else that you can talk to
Yeah.
that help you get to the right decision, the best decision. And I was able to get all the money back for the dresses,
Yay.
cancel everything. I didn't really lose any money, but even if I did, it was worth it. It was worth it
Yeah, because
because
that
that
would have been a
situation.
lifetime of unhappy,
Oh
right?
my, yes.
Or however long it would take you to get back out of that situation. I won't say a lifetime. I'm not gonna put that
Right.
on you.
But
But yeah,
but
however
I hear what
long.
you're saying. But yes, even a daytime or a month is worse, it's worth it. And
Mm,
so yep, so canceled that. And so now that was what in 07
okay.
is what 15 years later. What's that? 07? No, almost 20. No, what is it? Yeah, 15.
10. Yeah.
It's 15 years later. Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm presented with a situation, but this person is nothing like any of them. he's
So
he's a
why
good
are we
guy.
still
Well,
so is
because
this is this
it's like PTSD.
okay, that's what I was gonna say. Or okay, I got another one to throw at you. Is this a a fear of getting everything you ever wanted and not knowing what to do with it?
That can happen too, right? And so that's why again you go back to what you desire, and that is
Mm-hmm.
peace. If you have peace with this person, and I do, if you have joy with this person, and I do, and that person honors who you are and you honor who they are, it's actually the healthy of the toxic. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're used to toxicity and you're getting healthy, it's like, whew, I always wanted healthy, but damn, that
Yeah.
toxic is what I remember, and I don't like it. It's like you love what you hate, and you're trying to
Yes.
learn to love what is healthy. And so
So where are you? Why do you still feel kind of runaway bride-ish?
I think it goes back to I'll call it the matrix of things, right?
Okay.
So when you talk about that ring comes from um, brainwashing or living up to a standard that doesn't line up with who you are.
Okay.
And when you grow up, like I feel like I'm learning who I am. And I think growing up ultimately is discovering who you are, what you love, what you are not going to tolerate, what you are going to tolerate. And when you start to think about what you desire for yourself, juxtaposed to what has been taught to you to desire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the ring, the wedding date, the money, the this, the house, the that. And if I don't know, anything that lines up with this fairy tale of what marriage is supposed to look like,
Yeah.
or what this image, I'll even say image because fairy tales almost to demean it, but this image of what marriage looks like. If you're who you are doesn't line up with it, you start to doubt. And it's
Yeah.
almost like doubting yourself in a sense to say, but this is who you are. What you desire is lining up with this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like you go back and forth like teeter totter on who you are based on what the image is that. And so that's where when you ask the question, that's what's sometimes taking place. So I have to remind myself, no, you're getting exactly what you desire. You
Right.
might not be getting what this supposed standard is,
Yeah.
But you have the person you always desired in your life.
It's you know, I remember even when I was younger, I had like you I've seen other women do it too. And men, they all have like prerequisites of like these are the types that they
Mm-hmm.
like. This
Right.
is the style, this is the look, this is the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then who you wind up with is the complete opposite of that.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes,
That's that
not
is Drew and
always.
I. That is
Oh, okay. Oh,
completely
I see
Drew.
what you're saying. Yeah.
I was deaf, dumb, and blind.
Mhm.
And then he popped up and like I'm not kidding you. It was like the Simpsons where like the clouds part and the sun comes down and it's like that's him.
Oh,
That was
wow.
it. But it's I guess you gotta get like some people have to be dragged through the mud and in order to figure that part out. Because I was in a bunch of dumb situations, tumultuous
It was a
situations I
lot
wish
of
I could.
learning.
Yeah, it was a lot of learning.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
was it was a lot of learning. It was a lot of some people call them mistakes, but I call it learning situations. In order to get to this person who's just like, you got a face, that's
Mm-hmm.
enough.
Yeah.
So it just
Well, because that was what he desired. And if
yeah,
what you desire and what he desired was the same thing, then by all means go with that. And we listen to what this person is saying,
yes.
you know.
Because for as long as I was like, I don't get it, I don't understand why you just need a face. Now I'm like coming around to understanding is like I just wanted basics. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted bare minimums. And to some people that's like that's not enough, but to me is like it's a lot.
Mm-hmm. What okay, what do you mean by that? You want
It's
a
a
bare
lot to
minimum?
peel away all the bullshit and to just say, I just want you. I
Right.
just want to be around you. I just
Okay.
want to be in the same space. I want to share the same thing.
Is
I
that
want,
what you're saying and he's saying? He's saying the
yeah,
same. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But other people sometimes have, like you said, like this fairy tale notion of like,
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be this and that and the house and the
Right.
3 month salary on the ring and
Mm-hmm.
two kids and a dog and whatever and whatever. And then they look up and the pandemic comes and you got to be around all these people and you hate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And so I also said too, or just said that, you got to look at what they're saying. At the same time, you need to look at what they're doing too and make sure
Yeah.
that what they're saying lines up with what they're doing or what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
lines up with what they're saying. And so when he said, I just want you, his
Mm-hmm.
actions showed that as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when did you stop when you said I was trying to convince him that I was the one is basically the person for him? Did you ever stop trying to convince? And did you finally listen to what he was saying?
I still have days now where I'm like, am I doing enough?
But at the point of the him asking you to marry him,
Oh
like,
shit. Hell no.
okay.
No. I probably got worse.
Mm-hmm.
I probably, yeah, I would say I got worse because I had the fear of getting everything I ever wanted, like the winner's
Oh,
remorse, the
okay.
survivor's remorse
Mm-hmm.
of like, okay, we're here at this thing, we're here at this moment, this crossroads. Don't fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
So then it was like it
So was
flipped.
this you talking to yourself or were
Oh
you
hell
talking?
yeah.
Okay.
And it flipped to like now I gotta over try to keep this
Mm, I
for a
see.
different reason now. Because now it's like now you got the thing that you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Now you gotta hold on to it. And so it was like I
Yeah.
was holding on to it too tight at that point.
I see. And I think
So,
it's all the same thing. So I think you also had your own inner fear too. It just might not have been showing up exactly as a runaway bride.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think what I finally realized today as I was contemplating talking about this is just walking into who you are, like
Okay.
really deciding and knowing that you are making the right choices because you're honoring yourself. You're being impeccable with your word.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you're not taking anything personally, and You're not making assumptions. And I think this is the biggest thing in this type of situation. A lot of times we speculate or we make assumptions about certain things, and then you're doing your best and all that. If you know these things are happening, walk into that as though you're receiving what it is that you desire
Yeah.
and not being an imposter. You're definitely not an imposter in this
Shit.
space.
Yeah. Because
You're your authentic self.
I feel like I definitely was doing a shitty job of being an imposter
And
of who I thought I needed to be.
right. And that's quite okay. I think also too, as we work on giving ourselves compliments and not necessarily beating ourselves up about shit, because I think we have a tendency to pound ourselves about certain things. But I think just like we want grace from our person, we definitely have to give ourselves grace, you
Yeah.
know, and give. And for those listening to this and you happen to be engaged and you're considering getting married, definitely, if you're actually operating from a place of what you don't want instead of what you want, you don't
Mhm.
have to beat yourself up about it. Slow it
True.
down, breathe,
Yeah.
take a walk, and or gather yourself and think about what it is you desire in this marriage, in this union, and what marriage even means to you.
Right. And if I could give a piece of advice on all of this, is to slow down and experience the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Experience being with your person
Right.
instead of experiencing the rush to put on this production that is a wedding in
Right.
America, because clearly it's a production. Um,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
are so many things that I'm like, oh, it would have been so much better had I just said what I wanted out loud and then
Mm-hmm.
followed it up,
Mm-hmm.
because so much of it was like doing for other people,
Mm-hmm.
trying to prove to other people, putting on this show for other people. And it's like when you go home at night, it's just you and your person.
Mm-hmm.
That production you put on for those other people stops right then.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't keep going after you cut the cake. It's over
Mm-hmm.
with. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that was just that day. That was just those hours. That was just that dress, that suit, that whatever. You're not going to walk around in this dress every day.
You sure not.
Why the fuck are you spending 3 months' salary on this dress? You get what I'm saying? Like, it does not
Yes.
make any sense. Like, slow down and take in, like, what do you want with this
Mm-hmm.
person?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not a wedding every day, it's a marriage every day.
Right.
That's
Right.
two totally different things that
That's
I
so
don't
true.
think I had like a full grasp on
Mm-hmm.
until afterward, really, until
Mm-hmm.
afterward, until standing up there and realizing, yeah, like I'm up here really by myself. Like I'm grateful for these three people who are on my side and in my corner. And you know, I I remember like feeling like defiant and being like, I'm gonna walk down the aisle by myself. And I had always said this, because like my dad was gone. And so I was just like, I'm gonna do all these things by myself and I can do all this by myself, carry all this. And then I was like, I shit you not. 20 minutes before, I was like, go ask my mom, will she come and walk me down the aisle?
That's so cool. How did you get to that place?
Um, it that lady always has my back. We fight like
Mm-hmm.
cats and dogs, drive each other crazy. She always
Mm-hmm.
has my back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I'm not gonna be able to make it down this aisle by myself. I already know.
Isn't that so cool? I love it. And that's the whole point. It's coming full circle
Yeah.
with it doesn't have to be a certain way that we like
No.
picture in our mind. We got to go with going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
What is it now, right now, and not this image of things?
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
like you just can't craft this life from a magazine. Like you gotta deal with the cards that you have in front of you.
And make the best of it. That's the other thing.
Yes.
Make the best of
Yeah.
what you have. You don't have to overextend yourself. And that's what it sounds like Sylvia's saying. Don't cash out your 401k.
For
You
real.
know what I
Please
mean?
don't do
Like,
that. Please.
overextend yourself, your budget, and because this is a 1 day thing, even though you want to look beautiful. So what can you do as far as doing your best with what you have to make it when you look back, you say, man, that was an awesome day. There
Right.
was no stress about, damn, I broke the bank and I didn't have it. Like, no,
Yeah.
it's what all the people who I desired to be there were there, not these
Exactly.
fake ass friends or these
Exactly.
family members that you don't ever talk to. Like, you still love your family members. They'll see the pictures. They
Mm-hmm.
probably, some of them didn't even want to be invited in the first place. Like,
Right.
like, let's
Like,
be
come on now. Like
real.
you
Yeah,
talk to your mailman more every
right.
day than you
Invite
talk
your
to other people.
mailman to
Yeah,
the
this
wedding.
this the type of
Like
shit I'm talking about.
people who are meaningful to you right then in the moment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just own that shit
Yeah.
because that's gonna be the determining factor when you look back on it. Man, the mailman who always has a smile for me. I'm so appreciative he was there. Or, my son walked me down the aisle. Like, man, I my only son,
Mm-hmm.
these different things that when you look back, it just means so much to you and not the fact that you pretended, you
Right.
know, on yourself.
How are you feeling like now as well now you got less than a year, right?
Yeah, more confident, definitely more confident. And
Okay.
I decided to shift away from the matrix of things. And
Okay.
again, the matrix of things is the pretend. It's the put on, the facade, the what everybody else is saying that needs to be, and remembering who I am and who he is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm remembering that he is a male version of Lori, you know. He's
Mm-hmm.
that is the thing that brings me joy. I'm remembering that we have a beautiful time together.
Right.
We talk the same talk, you know, and we build each other up. We lift each other up. That never happened before. Ever,
Okay.
you
And
know.
and did he have the same kind of like cold feet situation? Like, or
No,
did you
honey,
did you
girl, bye.
express to him that you were having
Yeah.
cold feet?
Oh, yeah. And I didn't say I
Okay.
had cold feet. I didn't even tell him I had was no runaway bride. I just told him what my concerns are,
Okay. Okay.
and he met them and he was able to acknowledge how I felt, which I'm
Okay.
so cool with. And
That's
even to the
beautiful.
point where he was like, if you feel like we should wait, I will wait.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
High five to him.
Right.
For real
He's
though.
like, whatever you want to do, I love you, you know? And that is the most meaningful thing to me.
That and I bet that built more confidence in the whole situation because then it's like this person is willing to wait for me to figure myself out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah. Because,
I love that.
I do too. Because it's soothing. It's the
Yeah.
security that I desire, that
Yeah.
I appreciate. Right.
Yeah.
And support.
Shit. I hope everybody has that. Like that's I just really wish that upon everyone to find someone, even if it's that you find yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that is that soothing, that amount of peace, that good of a friend or
Mm-hmm.
bond.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really do wish that upon people because it's the best feeling. So
It is.
it's you know what else it is? It's a sense of security
Mm-hmm. Yep.
in such an insecure world and space and time. To
Right.
find someone or to find in yourself that sense of security to me is like a whole other level of peace
Mm-hmm.
because you're there now, like you're solid now, like you've reached the point where you're like I'm okay, we're okay,
Right.
this situation is okay.
And we will be okay in the face of,
Yes.
because life is always going to throw you some curveballs, some issues. Things will come up and
Yeah.
you'll still be able to make it. And for those who did get married and when they think about it, there's a level of regret. um, you don't have to beat yourself up. So
Mm,
you look at that you did the best you could. I think it's really about honoring who you are and giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. And right now, if you know that you're in a relationship that's unhealthy, make the proper steps to leave. Also, if you're in a relationship where you can be grateful, say thank you.
yeah.
Because sometimes we are looking for a certain thing that we actually have. If you just look at what you desire and focus
Mm-hmm.
on that instead of worrying about something that may never occur. And if it does, it time will pass and things will happen and we cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. Can't like make up a step for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Don't
people do it every day. They
don't make
create
a
drama
fence
for
to climb.
themselves.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Don't make that fence to climb. You don't want that fence. But
It's not healthy. It's not going to bring you what you desire. Really focus on the thing that you love
yeah.
and watch it come to you and watch that it's here. Like
Yeah.
pay attention to what you have and see if it is what you've been desiring.
Yeah. You know what else too? And I don't think we talk about it enough. Love yourself first. Figure out
Mhm.
your shit first. Because
Right.
I had the time to figure out myself and I still wasn't doing it.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I was trying to figure out how someone else could love me before I could love me.
Right. And guess what? I don't think you knew what you didn't know.
No, I didn't know what I
Mhm.
didn't know, but
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to help people not make the same mistake because a fool will try to learn on their own.
Mhm. That's good.
So
That's good stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I would rather people know like if you have the time, especially like if you still haven't walked down the aisle, start working on figuring out who the hell you are and loving
Right.
yourself.
That's so true. Looking at what you're going to tolerate, what you're not going to
Yeah.
tolerate, like honor your boundaries. And speaking of that, I'm glad you said that because I like to give kudos and recommend certain things if I can. And there's a book called Set Boundaries and Find Peace. And it's by
Oh.
Nidra Glover Tawwab. Set Boundaries, Find Peace. It's an excellent freaking book. It's a guide to reclaiming yourself. So it lines up with what Sylvia's saying.
Mm.
When we have loose boundaries, we um, we're people pleasers. We're trying to
Yep.
take care of everybody, and we don't stop to think about what we actually desire, and then it forms resentment within us.
Yes.
So I love that you said that, Sylvia. Love you first. Find out who you are. That way, as you're learning who you are, you'll see if that person that you are is the person you're marrying, the male version or female version of it, or the same. That means,
Yeah.
but find out if you're marrying you, basically. If what you desire is lining up with what they desire.
I'm also saying this because, and it's something that I realized at the time, if you don't know who you are, or if you don't love yourself, it's going to stand in the way of you loving that other person and getting to know that
Mm-hmm.
other person and being with
Mm-hmm.
that other person or experiencing that other person.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, just figure out your shit, organize your bags because we all got baggage. At least organize them, put them on the shelf, put them in the closet, put them somewhere where they're like in order.
Right.
Because yeah, it'll stand in the way of whatever time you have together. Because we don't know how
Mm-hmm.
much time we have.
Right. We
I say
don't.
that all the time, like
Oh.
30 minutes or 30 years, you don't know. So don't waste any time not experiencing what is supposed to be your peace.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
I love
yeah.
it. This was good,
Yeah, this was
Sylvia.
interesting. I'm glad we got like to the heart of this whole thing. And I just hope that all of this goes so well
Oh
and that
yeah.
y'all have a long and happy life.
I do too. And so ultimately I will say what I discovered is I'm not running.
Good.
That I decided that and I should have written this down because it's so fitting. It's a quote that I came up with in my thought process because I'm always thinking about shit and thoughts just to be coming.
Okay.
But I decided that I'm not gonna go around shit no more. I'm gonna go right through it.
I love it.
Right.
I
And
love
so
it.
going through it is like, come with me. This is my dude. I am
Yeah.
gonna marry him. And if the shit falls off the fucking cliff, okay, then we some Bonnie and Clyde asses, like
Right.
and
Right.
and if and if we need to part ways, then that's what we'll do, or we'll walk in the sunset together. And I love it all
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not running anymore. I'm gonna walk
Yay.
right through that bitch. And that's just so exciting.
I love it. I'm excited
Yeah.
for you. I'm excited for you. Yay. Good. Well, hopefully everybody else gets to that point as well. And thanks for listening. We appreciate you.
Bye, y'all. That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson. And you've been listening to What's Been Better.
A big thank you to Lagan Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you this week. So send us a voice message or an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at What's Been Better Podcast.
Thanks for listening.